Hi again, everybody. Today, Sadhguru shares his wisdom in his first rule, enhance your perception. So I want us to think about that. Enhance your perception. Your perception, the way you look at things, is not necessarily the way it is. In fact, it's not. It's simply all your life experiences, your what we call paradigms, your scripts, the things that have happened to you, the outside conditions, and how you've responded to this point. So let's work on enhancing our perception and using our intelligence. Like I said before, and what I believe is we are infinitely intelligent. We are created and seen and born in the likeness and image of God, source, universe, however you want to refer to this power. So enhancing our perception means we have to use the most powerful thing, our thoughts, to change the way we look at things. If you think there's a problem, that very thought is the problem. It's up to you. Have a great day, everybody. Hi again.
In celebration of my recent one-on-one video with Gary Vee's life coach, please enjoy this video from our vault.
We all are actually good at a couple of things. Spend all your time trying to figure out what you're good at. And if, God forbid, one of those things is something you actually like too, you're off to the races.
Yeah.
And in 2019, when you can make a podcast or an Instagram account or a Shopify store around Dragon Ball Z and make $73,000 a year doing that, that's real. What I just said is real. That's crazy. That if you go pot committed, you have a job that you don't like, paying college debt that you're pissed about, but instead of coming home and having a beer and watching Netflix and playing Fortnite to escape, I get it. You want to escape, I get it. What I'm saying is just take a step back. Listen to me for a second. Come home and start building your Dragon Ball Z eBay account by buying on Craigslist and flipping it. Start a podcast and go Dragon Ball Z episode 1. Here we are. Start an Instagram account around Dragon Ball Z. Build. If you did that around somewhere 12 years ago, loved Black Panther. Somebody did. It was a rare comic book. It wasn't the biggest of the world, but somebody loved it. But they didn't think that they could build a business about Black Panther. What they didn't know was 10 years later, Black Panther was going to be made a feature film that was going to completely penetrate culture. If she or he had a podcast and an Instagram account that really was the nichiest of niche Black Panther fans, which made no sense 10 years ago, but it had its 43,000 people that fucked with Black Panther. When that movie came out and had that huge marketing budget, that would have gotten $50,000 to market that movie on his Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, podcast, blog. And that same person right now is still sitting in their cubicle making $79,000 a year, hating life. I'm fascinated by that.
You've got a great idea. You know it can change the world. You know it could have a big impact. You know it could change the fortunes of yourself, your family, the people around you. You've got a great idea. You know it can work. You know it can work. The problem is you don't know if it can work for you. You believe in the idea, but you don't believe in yourself. And so here's what's happened. Why? Well, it's because you've tried and stopped and started and stopped and started and stopped, and you maybe saw a little bit tiny results, but then you lose the motivation and you stop. You've never stayed with anything long enough to actually let it see results. And so you built up this pattern inside yourself that says, I can't do it. The idea is great, but I can't do it. That's really at the core. If you really believe that you could do it and you really believed in the idea, you'd be doing it and crushing it. So that's the biggest difference. That's why lack of belief is the world's biggest problem. The only thing you're missing is actual sustained momentum against your ideas. Because if you believe that you could do it, you'd be out there doing it. You believe in your idea and how it could change the world, but you don't believe in your own abilities to do it. Now this is where we have to start talking about making decisions with your head versus your heart. So your head only understands a world that exists. Your head is logical, it's practical. And so whatever's been done can be done again, right? It's logical. And so if you've got a job at some company, you know you can make X thousands of dollars a year. That's safe, that's logical, that's practical. You know it can be done. It exists. Other people have done it too. You compound that with people telling you to do the safe thing, right? Go get a job, go take the safe path, go take the safe route. And so there's a lot of outside forces, especially fear generated, that keep you on a small path, keep you on the safe path. And it's not necessarily wrong. It's not malicious. They're not trying to hurt you. It's just fear-based, and so it's small. You never create amazing things when you're living in a fear-based state. And that's what you're doing when you make big decisions with your head. Because your head only understands a practical world that currently exists. Now your heart's a different story. Your heart can create something that's never existed before. Your heart is where all the artists live, all the game changers live, all the people who end up making massive change in the world, that's where they live. They're creating something new. They say, I see something that other people don't see, and I can go create it. That's heart. You're creating something that hasn't existed before. That doesn't make sense. That's not logical. That's not practical. There's nothing to tell you that this could work, but you feel that it can work. That's where I know you guys are at. If you're watching this channel, you're watching this video, that's where I know you're at. The problem is living inside your head instead of living inside your heart. So what happens is you'll have some days where you're living in your heart. You'll have some days where you feel bold, motivated, excited, feeling like you're capable. Like maybe you could actually do this. You'll have some days. I'm gonna switch my hand. My hand's getting tired of holding the video. You'll have some days where you'll actually feel that way. Like maybe I could be the person. I am bold. Maybe you watch a video, maybe you just wake up and you get inspired, you had a great dream, something happens, and you have this moment where you just feel bold, powerful, unstoppable, and say, today's my day, I'm gonna go off and do it and crush it, right? We've all had those moments. But then you wake up the next day and you're back to being in your head, telling yourself, I can't do this, I didn't go to school for this, I don't have the money for this, I don't have the talent for this, I'm not good enough for this, I'm not brave enough or courageous enough for this, right? That's all your head talking to yourself. When you haven't fully decided on something big, what ends up happening is your head and your heart fight. So if you haven't fully decided that you want to start this business, that you want to hit your 10 million subscribers on YouTube, that you want to fill in a blank, your big, crazy, ambitious goal, when you haven't fully decided on it, your head and your heart are going to fight. They should fight. Because it's not logical, it's not safe, it's not practical. If it was, it wouldn't be a big idea. Your big, amazing, bold ideas are not logical, they're not practical, and they're not safe. And so your head is always gonna say, whoa, 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 slow down, this is scary. And most of the time you're gonna listen to your head, and the people around you will tell you listen to your head. What you need to do is fully decide. What you need to do is decide that this is going to happen, that it's not an option anymore, that there's no maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. Your heart has to decide the big decisions in your life. Should you go move to that other country or other city? Should you go marry that person or not? Should you go take that job or not? Should you go start that business or not? Big decisions with your heart. And then you use your head to help you figure out the how. I always find it so funny when people are thinking, well, should I do that business or not? Or should I marry that person or not? And they make a list, you make a checklist, and you write down pros and cons, right? Never make a decision that's big in your life based off of objective pros and cons, because you're making it using the wrong part of your body. Because you might really love somebody and you come up with all these lists and you got 80 cons on that list and only one pro. Or maybe that one pro is all you need. Same thing with the business. There's a million reasons why your business is not going to work out. You sit there and make a list of pros and cons. There should be way more cons. There's a million reasons why you're not going to win and 8 why you will. And the people who go off and win only focus on the 8. Making a list of pros and cons to help you make big decisions in life is one of the stupidest things you can do. Straight up. Now, your head is very important. Your head helps you accomplish your goals, but only once your heart's decided. So your heart allows you to make the big decisions. I want this to happen in my life. No negotiation, this is going to happen. And then from there, you use your head to figure out how to do it, right? Once your head is not fighting your heart, once your head has understood, oh, he's serious, she's serious. Okay, crap, how do we actually make this happen now? That's when you use your head, because you're a smart person and you need your head aligned to help you accomplish your big goals. So if I want to go off and build my YouTube channel and get 10 million subscribers, that's happening. When I first started YouTube 11 years ago, there was no educational content. There were no 15-minute videos on YouTube. It was all memes and stupid videos and cats and just not this at all. And it took me too long to listen to my heart, quite frankly. You know, I loved it, and so I kept doing it. And you know, pat on my own back for myself is that thankfully I kept going. I wasn't as consistent as I am now, but I kept going. I didn't give up, even though there were no signs that I would have success, right? My first video got 3 comments in 1 year, and one was my mom, one was my sister, and one was some random dude. I wasn't getting traction. I was still looking back at some of my old videos yesterday, and a lot of them, no comments, right? Like one video, 35 views, 0 comments. Man, I guess I spent a lot of time making that video. And so I kept going because there was something inside me that said, I need to keep doing this. I wish I kept going faster. And it's my wish for you too, right now, with your business, with your idea, with your crazy goals. I wish you keep going, but I wish you go faster on it. That you decide with your heart to say, I am making this happen. And you say, head, listen to me. We're making this happen. Now you're the smart one. Help me figure out how to actually do it. So to get to my 10 million subscribers, how do I do it? And every day I'm using my brain to help me do it. And hopefully you are too. When your head and your heart are fighting, when your goals, your ambitions, your dreams are fighting every day what you think is practical, logical, possible, you're just going to be stuck. Very slow growth, very slow momentum, knowing you're capable of more, but just stuck because you're fighting yourself. The biggest problem is you're just fighting yourself. But when you can let go, when you can say, my heart is going to help me make the big decisions in my life, and my head's going to help me figure out how, magical things start to happen. And that's my wish for you. Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, question of the day, I want to know, what's your heart telling you right now? What's the most bold, courageous version of you telling you right now? Let me know. Put it down in the comments below. And if you made it this far in a video and you commit, you promise, you're going to take some action after watching this video, give me hashtag believe in the comments as well. I want to celebrate you.
How were you able to, in spite of, you know, being freshly married, in spite of all the things going on, in spite of the market crashing and all types of stuff, were able to say, in these circumstances, I still want to open my own business?
Yeah, so I think you have to also know yourself very well. Yeah. Because for me,
self-awareness.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm talking about from a different side. So for example, think about it how many, like let's go through 5 presidents. Cool. Let's pick 5 presidents and you tell me which of their styles you relate to the most. Okay. You ready? Just kind of think about it yourself. Cool. And we're talking about you.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So Reagan used humor to win people over. Yeah. Okay. Humor is what he told stories and he used humor. John F. Kennedy was very charming and he used this context. He had charisma. He was charming, good looking. So people kind of saw him and said, I just like this guy, right? Yeah. So Reagan humor, JFK was charm, okay? Clinton seemed like he cared for you. So he was a good listener. You're like, oh my gosh. You know, empathetic is a good word, sympathetic, okay. Trump is a bully. You bully him, he's going to come at you 100%. Like, you don't push that guy around, right? So far we have what? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 different presidents, and let's add another one. Okay, and Obama spoke about dreams. Yeah. Okay, so he knew how to get us to inspire. Inspire. Okay, so you got humor, you got charm and charisma. You got I care, sympathetic, empathetic. You got you're not going to push me around. I'm going to stand up because I'm a man's man. And you got, listen, what if one day we can dream and we can do this? Yeah. Who do you relate to the most?
Inspiring.
Okay, so check this out. Yeah. How many people relate to him? Not everybody.
Yeah.
So how many people relate to Trump? Not everybody. Yeah. How many people relate to Reagan? Not everybody. Yeah. Or Clinton or JFK. It's irrelevant. It's finding out which one is you. And then if you find your style, and if you can find your style and can position yourself in areas where your style and personality is able to really grow and magnify, then play offense.
Evan, thank you so much for having a couple seconds and being able to tell the Believe Nation a little bit about Empathy Wines. It means a lot to me that you would take this valuable real estate and time on your channel to give me some love. It means a lot. It's just good karma points, and so you're awesome. Thank you. Believe Nation, if you're into wine at all, go to empathywines.com. My whole career's work was poured into producing a wine that rivaled $40 to $60 wine for 20 bucks a bottle. I'm just super excited about this subscription-based wine business. You can order 3, 6, or 12 bottles in subscription form, rosé, white, red. If you search on Instagram or Twitter, you will be blown away. People are literally like, I don't even like Gary Vee, but the wine's good. Super proud of the effort. Thanks, Evan, for the time. Wishing you guys all happy and healthy.
If you want to see my one-on-one with Gary V's life coach where she breaks me down, check the video on my main channel right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
80% of a human being's inner dialogue is negative. One of the things that human beings sucks at, besides dreaming, is the ability to keep promises to ourselves.
Morning, everybody. Last night, I had the pleasure of going to see Raymond Aaron and another amazing presentation on the importance of finding a mentor or finding mentors for our life. We might be feeling that this path to personal growth and development, which is never ending, might be a little bit intimidating, or you might come on here and watch me do these videos and you think, well, this all sounds good, Nick, but how can I apply it to my life? Where do I begin? Or maybe there's thoughts in your head that you don't even want to begin because it seems overwhelming. Well, it's the day-to-day and step-by-step process that we have to enjoy, but we can't do it on our own. So we have to look at people that have done it and are continuing to do it every single day. So we need mentors. We need at least one mentor, and perhaps many in different aspects of life. Even the greats like Raymond Aaron still do it. Have a great day, everybody.
I'm Diana Pasolka. I am a professor of religious studies at the University of North.
The Newtonian world is all about the predictable. It's all about predicting a future. But the quantum model of reality is about causing an effect. The moment you start feeling abundant and worthy, you are generating wealth. The moment you're empowered and feel it, you're beginning to step towards your success. The moment you start feeling whole, your healing begins. And when you love yourself and you love all of life, you'll create an equal. And now you're causing an effect. And I think that's the difference between living as a victim in your world, saying, I am this way because of this person or that thing or this experience. They made me think and feel this way. When you switch that around, you become a creator of your world, and you start saying, my thinking and my feeling is changing an outcome in my life. And now that's a whole different game, and we start believing more that we're creators of reality.
How do we then go from that, like mechanistically, to begin this visualization process of something that's empowering? It's me in a different state. It's my future self. Is it meditation? Is it, what does that look like?
If you're not being defined by a vision of the future, then you're left with the old memories of the past, and you will be predictable in your life. And if you wake up in the morning and you're not being defined by a vision in the future, as you see the same people and you go to the same places and you do the exact same thing at the exact same time, it's no longer that your personality is creating your personal reality. Now your personal reality is affecting or creating your personality. Your environment is really controlling how you think and feel unconsciously, because every person, everything, every place, every experience has a neurological network in your brain. Every experience that you have with every person produces an emotion. So some people will use their boss to reaffirm their addiction to judgment. They'll use their enemy to reaffirm their addiction to hatred. They'll use their friends to reaffirm their addiction to suffering. So now they need the outer world to feel something. So to change then is to be greater than your environment, to be greater than the conditions in your world. And the environment is that seductive. So then why is meditation the tool? Well, let's sit down, let's close our eyes. Let's disconnect from your outer environment. So if you're seeing less things, there's less stimulation going to your brain. If you're playing soft music or you have earplugs in, less sensory information coming to your brain, so you're disconnecting from your environment. If you can sit your body down and tell it to stay like an animal, stay right here. I'm going to feed you when we're done. You can get up and check your emails, you can do all your texts, but right now, you're going to sit there and obey me. So then, When you do that properly, and you're not eating anything or smelling anything or tasting anything, you're not up experiencing and feeling anything, you would have to agree with me that you're being defined by a thought, right? So when the body wants to go back to its emotional past, and you become aware that your attention is on that emotion, and where you place your attention is where you place your energy, you're siphoning your energy out of the present moment into the past, and you become aware of that. And you settle your body back down in the present moment, because it's saying, well, it's 8 o'clock. You normally get upset because you're in traffic around this time. And here you are sitting, and we're used to feeling anger, and you're off schedule. Oh, it's 11 o'clock, and you usually check your emails and judge everybody. Well, the body's looking for that predictable chemical state. Every time you become aware that you're doing that, and your body is craving those emotions, and you settle it back down into the present moment, you're telling the body, it's no longer the mind, that you're the mind. And now your will is getting greater than the program. And if you keep doing this over and over again, over and over again, over and over again, just like training a stallion or a dog, it's just gonna say, I'm gonna sit. And the moment that happens, when the body's no longer the mind, when it finally surrenders, there's a liberation of energy. We go from particle to wave, from matter to energy, and we free ourselves from the chains of those emotions that keep us in the familiar past. And we've seen this thousands of times. In fact, we can actually predict it now on a brain scan.
The hardest part about programming that people don't recognize is you have to make all programs present tense positive statements, not future statements. I will have, I shall have, something like that. It's like, no, I am. It is. And the reason it's so logically simple, and that is this. Let's say I'm not well. I say, I want to be well. I say, fine, let's record that. Now let's come back a whole year later and push the button that says, I want to be well. I say, oh, it's been a whole year. You never got there. You just wanted to be well for a whole year. That's what the program said. So if you are sick and you write, I am healthy, and the mind looks at the program and says, oh, I got to change this. It doesn't change the program. It brings health back so that the body matches the program. And so that's the whole issue about it. The function of the mind is to take the program and manifest it. And if you got a negative program, then obviously whatever it manifests is going to be negative.
When we stop expecting things to be the way that we think they should be, when we stop forcing outcomes, and when we start allowing what is of the highest good to be our only agenda, our only intention, that's when the universe truly has our back. That's when we can live what it means to surrender. True surrender comes when we stop praying for what we think we need and we start connecting and grounding in what could possibly be of the highest good for all. And when we stop praying for what we think we need and we start allowing what is of the highest good for all. So true manifesting is about receiving what is of the highest good for all. And it begins not just with how will I get what is of the highest good, but how can I be open to what is of the highest good? How can I open up my consciousness to release what I think I need and get grounded in what is possible and what is of the highest good, not just for me and my agenda, but the highest good for all. That's the message. So you're doing everything right in that you're open to a spiritual practice, you're willing to grow, you're showing up for your practice, you're reading books, you're doing the work, you're here on Dear Gabby, you're showing up, you're showing up, you're showing up. You're doing a lot of doing though, and you're also doing a lot of expecting. And so a lot of doing and a lot of expecting are two major blocks to your ability to attract what it is that you want into your life. And so it's the doing that actually creates sort of a manic manifesting vibration, which is, how do I get that? What do I do next? Got to do this thing next. Got to do this thing next. And that lacks the belief system that I can be still and I can allow. That's number one. Number two, being in the expectation of what you think things should be is another block to your manifesting power and your super attractor power, which is what I call it, because your expectations are limiting the possibilities. Your expectations are limiting the highest good, as this card says. So when we start to pray for what is of the highest good, rather than intend and pray for what we think we need, that's when the universe can conspire with what it is that is of the highest good for all. So ultimately what's happening is all the doing is energetically blocking. And all the expecting is blocking the manifestation as well, because when you're in this tunnel vision of expectation, it should be this way. I should be further along. I shouldn't be here. What's happening is you're missing the opportunity to recognize where you are, how great things are in this moment, what is possible in this moment, the creative possibility in this moment, the exciting potential in this moment. You're blocking it. I want you to sit on your ass. I want you to stop doing. I want you to start being, which is what you also said. You're actually Dear Gabbying yourself. You said, I want to embody the feeling. I want to embody the emotion. The being is a presence. It's an energy. It's a state. It's not an action. True manifesting does require us to show up for our desires. You got to pick up the phone and then call the job interview, and you have to ask for the date, and you have to do whatever it is that you want to create. But ultimately, the greatest source of power that we have to attract what we want is how we feel.
Tell us about this belief. Where does this block of a belief come from? And how is it created such a strong hold on each and every single one of us?
Well, the belief is that we are separate and that we are individual, and that all that we consist of, all that makes us up, is just a body and a mind. And I think the majority of people would consider that they're a body and a mind, and the name that they've been given and the story of their life, and I was born here, and parents did this, and I do this for a living, and siblings, and the story that we then we identify with and carry around with us, and those stories, it doesn't matter what the story is, it doesn't matter how fabulous your life has been, it does not compare to who we really are. And so we have this belief that we are limited, basically, in a nutshell, that we're a limited individual, that we're born and that we die. And that's kind of it. And the truth is we are so much more than that. We are certainly having the experience of being an individual, and we're certainly having the experience, having a human experience, but ultimately it is not who we are, and we were never born, and we never die, and we are, if I were to sum up everything that we are, it's almost the opposite to everything we strive to be. So we are all the intelligence that there is, we are all the beauty that there is, we're all the happiness that there is. We are pure love without any judgment whatsoever. We are complete and utter freedom, which is why freedom means so much to us, why we will fight and struggle to be free. And so we have total knowing of absolutely everything in the moment of knowing it. We are infinite and we are eternal. And that is what is actually experiencing this particular form. And so we have a belief that we are an individual, that we're separate, that we're born and that we die. And our mind reaffirms that over and over and over again through all of its thoughts, and with everything we say, with every thought and every single thing that we say. And actually, doesn't the world affirm that over and over, that we're separate? But we are unlimited. We are absolute perfection. And I'm not talking about the name or the ego. I'm not talking about that, because we all can see what egos can get up to. You know, they can cause a lot of trouble. Egos want approval. They want attention. They want to be right all the time. They judge all of the time. And so, you know, they're not something to attach ourselves to and to identify with when We are this incredible being that is blissful happiness. And so we can have a life where we are living as an individual human, having an individual human experience, but from the perspective of the infinite being that we are, in which case we will never be touched by negativity, no matter what happens, and we will remain in lasting happiness no matter what.
When we're talking about energy, there's the great law of attraction and vibration. When things are on the same frequency, they are in resonance. All right, so let's not think of the law of attraction, okay, as this thing that's like a magnet that attracts, because if you were to take magnets and put together, positive and positive, it actually will repel. It's positive and negative that are in resonance and attract. So when we're thinking about the law of attraction, I want you to skip the old metaphysical laws that you may have heard of or explanations you heard of, and I want you to think about resonance. So for example, have you ever walked into a room and not a word has been said, and you know something's wrong, and you say, because you're feeling the vibration, you're feeling this something is wrong, your intuition is picking up the vibration in the room, and you know something's wrong, and you go, hey, what's wrong? And the people in the room go, oh, nothing. And you go, no, seriously, what's wrong? Well, how do you know that something is off? And the answer is because this thing called our body and this thing called our brain is energy vibrating at a certain frequency. And so when things are not great, we're emitting this frequency that other humans can feel. We're picking it up with our intuitive sensors in our brain and through our field. So when we think about the law of attraction, we should actually be thinking about, am I in resonance, right? Okay. Energy that is on the same frequency will resonate and attract. So if you want to understand the law of attraction around wealth, a relationship, health, money, are you in resonance with that which is already here? See, if you're thinking positive, but you're feeling negative, if you're thinking, I want to double, triple, quintuple my income, but inside of you, you're thinking that you're not smart enough, not good enough, not worthy enough, then part of you is vibrating at the, here's what I want to have, be, attract, etc. But if there's another part of you vibrating at a different frequency, there is no harmony, there is no resonance, there's chaos.
The thoughts we think and the words we speak are constantly shaping our world and our experiences. Many of us are in an old habit of negative thinking and do not realize the damage we have inflicted upon ourselves. However, we are never stuck because we can always change our thinking. As we learn to consistently choose positive thoughts, the old negative ones dissolve away. So, as you listen to the following power thoughts, let the affirmations and ideas wash over your consciousness. Your subconscious mind will pick up the ones that are important to you at the moment. These concepts are like fertilizing the soil of your mind. As you absorb them by repetition, you are slowly enriching the very basis of your garden of life. Anything you plant will grow abundantly. I see you vibrant and healthy, surrounded by exquisite beauty, living a life of love and prosperity, filled with joy and laughter. You are on a wonderful pathway of change and growth. Enjoy your trip. My healing is already in process. Your body knows how to heal itself. Get the negative garbage out of the way, then love your body. Feed it nourishing foods and beverages. Pamper it, respect it. Create an atmosphere of wellness. Allow yourself to heal.
Again, everybody, today Satguru shares another top 10 rule for success, and that is this: take a holiday from seriousness. And I love this, and I know it's something that I need to work on. I tend to be an intense person. I want to get better. I want to always be the best I can be, but I got to remember to also relax and just realize that this path to personal growth and development is never ending. It is extremely hard. I'd say maybe 95 to 98% of the world doesn't even want to try to get on that path of infinite mind wealth because it is so intimidating. However, we got to enjoy the moments to moments. We got to enjoy when we make mistakes, because that's how we know we're getting closer. And we got to be able to laugh at ourselves. And I think this is one thing I got to work on. So if you're feeling intimidated, you don't know where to begin, laugh at yourself as you try to even begin, and just really enjoy and appreciate yourself. Have a great day, everybody.
Every business, I have 5 companies now. We'll do 100 million this year. I started every one of those companies with no money. 0 money, man. Just hustle and grit and courage. I've called on people I didn't want to be with. I've done things I didn't want to do, okay? It is not about doing what you love. It's about doing whatever it takes to make your dreams a reality, to be closed and stay closed. If you're not closed on your product, if you're not buying your own product, why would you expect anybody else to? Man, $400 is a lot of money. Your prospect says to you, $400, do it. Listen to me, man. You're 32 years old. You've been trying to save money for 20 years and you hadn't. Do it and do it now. I don't need anything special here. I'm not gonna be empathetic. Quit being stupid. Write the check. I don't know if the compliance guy likes that or not, but I know this. Look, if you believe in what you're selling, how many of you believe in what you're selling? Then close the deal. Then close the deal, okay? Learn to close and you'll never be without work. You'll never be without money. You'll have an organization that is booming in affluence. You'll have a pipeline full. You'll have appointments filled up. Right? A group called me yesterday. I'm actually trying to do a deal with CNBC, and the guy says, I'm interested. I said, good, I'll be there tomorrow. Call me back. I'm flying into New York tomorrow. What am I trying to do right now? By the way, I was supposed to be here today. I'll fly into New York tomorrow. I can be there tomorrow, Mr. Ackerman. Okay, how does that work? I can't do tomorrow. I was going to be here anyway, man. I'm trying to close the deal. Let me close the deal. I'll figure out how to be in 2 places at one time later. Right? Some of you in the room, they're like, hey, I can see you at 4 o'clock on Tuesday, right? And the customer says to you, I'll see you at 4 o'clock on Tuesday too. Let me look at my calendar. Like you're so busy. Dude, that is so old. That is so old. And it's dishonest. It's dishonest, man. You want to see me Tuesday, 4 o'clock? I give you Tuesday at 4 o'clock. Agree to it. Done. Done. I'll call you if something changes. If there's an earthquake between now and next Tuesday morning there's a massive earthquake and I can't be there, you think everybody will understand? Commit first, figure the rest out later. Close the deal right now. Fill your calendar up. Your calendar's got the devil all over it. White space on a calendar and you will meet the devil. You don't need to die, okay? You go 2 or 3 days without anything going on, how many of you start having doubts? You're in hell. Oh my God, this isn't gonna work for me. There's nobody coming in. I'm not gonna hit my target. Okay, I know what I'll do. I'll lower my target. Dude, that's the devil doing that, man. That's a criminal. Never, ever, if you're taking notes, never lower a target. Never lower a target. Never lower a target. Your mom and dad would tell you to lower a target. A manager might tell you to lower a target. Be reasonable. Be reasonable with yourself. Just bring it down a little bit. No, man. Criminal products are created like that. A guy sees the girl that he wants. That's the girl. She says no. He goes to another girl. Right? Gave up on his dream. If you're going to give up on your own dream, how are you going to build an organization?
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more. And you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Grant Cardone, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy. Rule number 2, let go of things that hinder you.
You will never, ever experience great change in your life unless you're willing to give up something that you have right now. Every single time in my life, I have had to give up something I wanted. I'm not talking about getting rid of the bad stuff. You got to get rid of something that you actually worked for to get. Might have been the house. It might have been, oh, my kids are in the best schools now. It's going to be something painful. For you to get to the next place, you have to give up something that you worked for really, really hard. So I sold my house. One day I had this cognition, hey, to get what you want, you have to give up what you have. That has been true for me throughout my entire life. I had to leave Lake Charles, Louisiana. Went to Houston, had to leave Houston once I got comfortable with my community and my friends. Had to leave San Diego, had to go to LA. LA is a pit compared to La Jolla. Nobody goes from La Jolla, California up to Los Angeles. Nobody does that. You'll leave Kansas City to go to Los Angeles because you want to be an actor. I met Elena within 5 minutes of arriving in LA. I sold my house. I didn't leave it vacant as a backup plan. I left this house, okay? Like I couldn't buy this house today if I wanted to. It was so, like it was a precious little treasure. I had to give that up. By the way, I had to give up being the mayor of my little town. Everybody knew me. There wasn't a restaurant I couldn't walk into. I could always get a seat. I could always get the best seat. I had it right in my hand. This is what I'm telling you guys. You have to be willing to give something up, and the moment you do, you better have your partner on your side. Whoever's in your life, mom, whoever's the big influence, that significant other person in your life that you're going to consult, that everybody's going to consult. Every one of you are going to, hey, what do you think? Should I? You better have that person on your side. In my case, I was by myself. So my consultant was like, you going to do this, dog? I called my buddy, Dale. Dale, you think I should? He's like, you're miserable, bro. You got everything you want and you're miserable. He's like, what do you have to risk? Sold the house. Went to Los Angeles, lived in a hotel. I went from a house on the ocean to living in a hotel. The hotel room was probably like, I don't know, maybe the size of this stage. So please, please do whatever you got to do this weekend to figure out whatever you got to do to get rid of whatever is holding you back, most of which is something you worked hard to get. Okay? Maybe before the weekend's over, you could write down 2 or 3 or 4 things you worked really hard to get that you think you're supposed to keep. You got them already. You got it. You already did that. You don't have to keep it.
Rule number 3, deal with life head on.
People say the dumbest things. It could be family. It could be your wife, your husband. It could be a mom, a dad, an uncle, an aunt. It could be your kids coming from school. People say what they think. And what they think will be what they say. And what they say and think often enough, long enough, reinforced enough, I promise you, will be what they do. Okay? So look at some of the dumb things you say, like this. Here's one dumb thing people say. Time heals all things. Really? You get a splinter in your foot and you don't pull the splinter out. You don't look at it, confront it, and say, I got to pull that little booger out. I got to pull that little splinter out. If you just leave it there, you might get used to it. Yeah, you'll get used to it. 30 years goes by, you still got a splinter in your foot. Who knows, that splinter gets into your bloodstream, goes to your heart, spikes your heart, kills you. Time does not heal all things, folks. You know what heals all things? Taking a look at it. Having the courage to look at it. Hey, what happened to me? How did I screw up here? What hurt or what pain or what happened that I had a loss? I see people go through life with all these losses, unwilling to look at them, all crippled by the time they get older, not old, but they looking old, because they believe that time heals. Look, time heals when you confront it, when you look at it, when you pull the splinter out and take responsibility for it. Don't believe everything you believe. You know what I'm saying? Because some of the ideas you got, they just dumb. And dumb things will cause you to do dumb things.
Rule number 4, get real financial education.
For me, like I was always scared of money, you know, and I was terrified of it. So like if you look at, still today, like I look at the bill of everything. It's a
bill of everything?
If something costs something, I want to know how much it was. And so, like, how much is it? Like, I'm going to ask that question, whether it matters or not. It doesn't matter where I get in my life. I don't think I'm ever going to be free of how much was that?
How much was the dinner? How much was
dinner? How much was the tip? How much was the coat? How much was the jacket? What did me and Elena? Like, Elena's like, hey, it's going to be fine, man. Like, look at what you've done. We cannot spend this. And I'm like, how much was it? I want to know how much it was, because when I grew up, you had to know what things cost. And so the point your question about money is a terrifying thing, because it's the one thing in life that, the NFL is not going to give me the ball. And I'm never going to get a chance to golf. I can't win in those environments. But with money, everybody gets money. It's the one place where everybody gets it. And now what do I do? And I can lose it now. So it's a terrifying concept, like power. Very few of us ever get any kind of influence or power, right? Once you get it, you're like, hey, what do I do with this? Am I going to do it? Am I going to do the right things with it? And so I think people withhold themselves because we're not educated about money. We don't know where it comes from. We have a lot of misinformation about it. Our parents terrified us. Money doesn't grow on trees. Save your money, it'll save you. All these things our parents told us because they were enamored or encumbered with the same kind of liabilities around money. I don't know how to get it. I don't know how to keep it. And the worst part that we're all at is I don't know how to invest it.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is some people get good at getting it. Very few, actually. Fewer people at keeping it, but probably more than getting it. There's probably a big group in America that have learned how to keep money.
Because they're afraid to lose it.
They don't want to invest it. They don't want to use it. They don't want to, Kanye talks about this, how white people save all their money. And they just keep it. They just store it. Like I had an uncle, he buried everything he ever made. It went in the backyard.
Wow.
The other uncle was he was a guy that bought, he worked hard, very, very frugal, Italian descent, and he would buy real estate, but it was always buy low and sell high. He actually never sold anything, but that was the concept, buy low, buy the cheapest, lowest, get everything on a deal. If there's food stamps to be gotten, you go get those food stamps. If there's a government deal, get it. If it's Section 8 and the government will pay you, pay it. So both these guys, different kind of mentalities, were extremely frugal. My other uncle worked in a refinery. He basically saved all his money, paid everything off, got out of debt. That was their lifestyle. My dad died when I was 10. So he paid all his debt off, had everything paid. And so that's all I had, right? Everybody around me was like, get money,
keep it,
don't use it, but you should invest, but nobody ever learns that third one. And so I think we're just a bunch of people walking around terrified of this apparency of it's scarce,
right?
And it's not. And it's not. There's nothing scarce about it.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Rule number 5, attract success.
I'm always keeping it real with you. What has happened to our country that we make our idols and our icons and our heroes rappers and entertainers and ball players, and then we show disgust for a businessman that can bank $50 million a year or $20 million a year? What is wrong? Look, when a guy can go out and make passive investments, great decisions, execute, show tremendous discipline, okay, and disconcert between good investments and bad investments, and then make 20 million or 30 million bucks, pay $3 or $4 million in taxes, $3 or $4 million to his charities, his churches, his community, helps out with groups of people, and we have discontent for the businessman that's out there year after year making great investments, great decisions, showing leadership in the marketplace. Look, that marketplace out there, that economy is the most savage, most difficult playing field in the world to negotiate. Yet, who do we admire in our culture? Rock stars? Look, these guys got great skills. Kid gets out of school, makes $12 million a first year, and we make posters of them and sweatshirts. And you put their kids in their jerseys. But what about the business people that make our economy work, that pay the taxes, that make the schools work, the churches work, that make the fire department, the police department, because they pay taxes, because they're out there making great investments? Look, admire business people that are able to bank year after year. Admire these people, study them, learn from them. Don't be disgusted with them, and turn off anybody that would suggest to you that making money in this country is wrong. Look, don't envy business people. Admire them, emulate them, learn from them. Particularly these guys are doing it year after year after year, not just on income, but on wealth development, because that's where you need to be. That's where you need to be thinking. That's the economy you want to create for yourself, your family, your household, and your future.
Rule number 6, create time. Don't manage it.
You know, this concept of time management has been pushed off on me my entire life. And I have never, ever agreed with it. I'm like, why would I want to manage time? Why would I, what am I going to do? How do you manage time? What do I do? Okay, I'm going to watch these seconds. Dude, I don't want to manage time. I want to produce. I want to be highly productive. I want to squeeze time. I literally want to take time and I want to turn 60 minutes into 3 hours of production. That's the different thing that you need today, not manage time. Now, there are some tricks when managing time, if that's where you want to come from, like Alan Greenspan. Alan Greenspan and his roommate in college, his roommate's father taught Alan Greenspan a little trick that Alan Greenspan used his whole life. And it was to break up the day into 15-minute blocks. 15 minutes, I have something, and then fill up the next 15 minutes. Now, the reason Alan did that, and I like that concept a lot, is because he didn't want white space on that calendar. He knew white space was a problem because white space, nothing in the 15 minutes is a waste of time. See, before you start thinking about just managing time, first I want you to do this. Number one, I want you to make a list of things that you're doing every day that is a waste of time. That is the way you create time, not manage it. The first thing I want to do is look at things that I'm doing that are wasteful, those 2 or 3 hours a day that are wasteful moments, things I'm doing on Facebook that just are a waste of time, or maybe a game I'm playing that's a waste of time, or maybe a newspaper I'm reading where I'm not really learning anything. I'm reading about the celebrities. It's a waste of time. Okay, second thing I want you to do is this. I want you to then start thinking about these 15-minute blocks and filling that calendar up. But the third and most important thing I want you to think about is how can you create time? How can you literally take 24 hours and pack more into it so that you can become more productive, so that you can use that urgency concept and really blow up your career, blow up your life, make the most incredible life for your family, for you, for the kids, for your wife, for your husband, and for your clients so that you can take care of yourself materially as well.
Rule number 7, focus on discipline.
12 years ago, we had done maybe, $20 million over the internet. We'd done over $1 billion in sales over the internet in the last 12 years. Okay? Thank you. Like, you guys got to learn how to use enthusiasm. Like, when you use it, use it. Like, the more you use, the more you get. You're like, I'm going to save my energy now. I don't want to give him too big a hand too early. It's really early today. Come on. Look, man, when somebody's successful, you ought to throw down. That's what I'm talking about. See, y'all got to quit trying little tricks and gimmicks. Like, if you got to walk on fire to get excited, you are up. Like if you can't at will, whenever you want to, for any reason, just get excited, then you got a problem. Okay? Because in the real world, you can't be in the middle of a meeting and I'm trying to get her to give me like $100 million and I'm feeling a little depressed or bad right now, or I got my attention on my kids and I'm like, okay. Everybody's gonna be like, nah, we weren't gonna give you the 100 until you started pumping your chest. Right? You can't say, hang on a second, man, I got to go into a state change. Like, that's not real. You guys understand? You have to be able to, that's a gimmick. And gimmicks take time, okay? And gimmicks cannot be duplicated. What can be duplicated are disciplines. And that's what we're gonna be sharing with you over the next 3 days. Disciplines can be duplicated. If you've seen my children, okay? How many of you seen Sabrina and Scarlett? Oh yeah. Those are disciplines, okay? If they were in here right now, they could get on that stage and talk to you. They know how to look you in the eyes. They know how to shake your hand because they have been taught how to communicate. We spend less time on teaching them how to count than we do communicate. Connect with people, okay? We have them homeschooled. The homeschool teacher, what do you want them to learn? You just keep teaching them what I'm teaching them. You teach them confidence. You teach them poise. You teach them the ability to communicate. Be dangerous, not careful, okay? We teach our kids how to be dangerous. I teach my kids how to meet strangers and greet strangers. We teach our kids that strangers have everything they want and strangers are not dangerous. Okay? Is there danger in the society? Yeah. That's what those guys are for over there. So I'm going to put my kids in an environment where they can meet 99% of the people and feel safe to meet them, talk to them, communicate with them. So I want to make sure that my kids can walk into an environment and have zero concern about him, her, or him. And they can walk out and say, hey, I want to meet you, because strangers have everything that you want. The people you don't know and haven't met. These guys dressed in their robes. What do you call the robes? The Cardone, okay? I have one in my closet, by the way. I love the Cardone. I put the Cardone on one time and I was like, I'm a bad, bad man. Dude, I felt so freaking powerful. It was amazing, okay? I grew a beard. I'm like, now I'm a man, okay? Give me a camel. Okay, it was like phenomenal, right? Like, but you guys need to have that kind of swag everywhere in life. And regardless of how old you are, 25 and you're like, I'm too young to have swag, or 55 and now you're too old, it's not true. You just need to get the confidence, the bravado, not fake it. You don't need to fake it. You need to get confidence. If I could get rid of this right here in life, if I could get rid of these downs, man, how confident would I be? I mean, like, I'm going into every deal, I'm gonna win. And that is possible, folks, okay? But it starts with, who knows me? Because if I'm walking around this planet and nobody knows me, I'm gonna be terrified.
Rule number 8, be who you are.
Be a better guy, man. I mean, you know, just be a good guy and be, you know, the thing I'm proud of is I get to be Grant all the time. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm actually getting to the point where I'm like, hey man, I finally got to be what I finally became what I wanted to be.
What was that?
Me.
Yeah.
You know, that I don't have to apologize anymore, and that I quit screwing up, and I quit having to call people and say, hey man, I went too far, you know. If I could just pull some of that back without that drug that psychiatrist was trying to use. Right. You know, that if I'm less dependent upon aggression, you know, and I could kind of manifest more, you know, like you talk about.
Let it flow more.
Let it flow, dude. Yeah. Let it flow, you know, but if I could get that perfect balance of aggression and flow.
That's a sweet spot, yeah.
It's sweet, dude. It's hard to find that thing.
That's a sweet spot.
You know, to be that, I don't want to be the little stream that drips. You know, I want to be like, but I don't want to damage anybody. Right. I don't want to hurt anybody. You know, I don't want to be in competition anymore. But I also don't want to lose the edge. Right. You know,
it's a dance,
dude. It's a dance.
It's a dance, man.
You know, like your girl said to me the other night. She's like, she said something before she left. She's like, I really get who you are. You know. That hits me when people say that to me. Most people don't get who I am.
That's beautiful.
You know, and she said, I really get who you are.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
And sometimes it hurts, right? Because I know who I really am.
Yeah.
But I also know the things I'm trying to accomplish for me. You know, like Ryan gets who I am. You know, Ryan never takes me on. Man, you're the best, Grant. You're the best. he strokes me right through it. And you know, my wife, I can see my wife, she gets tired of the pounding, you know. But hey man, I just, you know, I'm a right-handed hitter, you know, or I got a certain ball that I throw, a certain shot I make, and it's my go-to, you know. And when I get threatened, I'm gonna go to that. And if I could develop some other set of skills, you know, that would be a cool thing.
Rule number 9, avoid negative people.
The thing is not to just be positive. not even to offer this no negativity policy that I talk about. The way to avoid negative and distracting people, man, is to vibrate at a rate so fast, okay, that you're out in front of them. Once I got a speeding ticket, actually here in Miami, and the police officer says, why are you speeding? Why are you in such a hurry? I'm like, dude, I'm trying to stay away from the crazies, okay? If I can just get ahead of everybody else, I'm not distracted by anybody but guys like you. And your job is to stop me, but the truth is their job is to stop me, distract me, and cause me to turn around and stop my mission. See? So I got my ticket and moved on and went to the head of the pack again. See, this is what I'm telling you, man. Look, if you want to not be bogged down by negative, distracted people, you need to take responsibility that you're slowing down enough to get caught up by this magnetic charge of distractive and negative people. Dude, you need to vibrate so fast that these people are distracting other people, not you. Get way ahead of the crowd. Get so busy that nobody's going to jack with you, man, because you're filling up your pipeline. You're full, you're busy, and you don't have this stuff sticking to you. Look, if you got negative people around you, if you got distracted people, and we all do, but if it's causing you to be distracted and negative, dude, you need to vibrate. You need to fill up your pipeline. You need to explode, blow up, get busy. So this isn't happening to you because you're partly responsible. Fill your pipeline up.
And rule number 10, the last one before some very special bonus clips, is don't quit.
What are you willing to give up? You guys got to keep assessing the situation and not be broad stroke about it and say, oh, I'm not going to be a dilettante, or I'm going to be a professional. I'm not going to. No, but what are you going to give up? There are times, though, again, when I will give up that agreement. See, like one of the things I have on here, being right. You have to give up being right. You know, you can't want to be right and be successful. They don't even go together. It's impossible. So again, I'm willing to give up being right. I just gotta, don't quit, man. If you don't quit, you can't fail. It's impossible. Failure becomes impossible for those that don't quit. It's impossible. Just think about it. If I keep moving towards the destination, if I'm going through the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, dude, if you just keep going all the way to Z, you finish the alphabet. You break your leg along the way, somebody cuts your tongue out, you get waterboarded, you get a divorce, you lose your dad, you lose a puppy. If you get to Z, you finish the alphabet, period. And boy, when I heard that, I'm like, God damn, what was I thinking? I was thinking I could fail. I can't fail if I don't quit. So that means I got to dump people out of the car though along the way, right? But we had to get rid of a whole bunch of people. I have to get rid of people. How many people have gone, Johnny? I mean, guys, like if you saw the wreckage, like so much, you don't see it, you know? I'm not saying get rid of people. I'm just saying like what are you willing to give up? Okay, on my list, I've given up a house, I've given up money, I gave up my retirement accounts. I had millions of dollars sitting in retirement accounts. I paid the penalty to get the money because it was a mistake years ago. I got convinced by the banks to build an IRA or a 401k because I was trying to figure out how to exit. Actually, the people that were giving me the advice were telling me to figure out how to exit. You're planning an exit when you're 30, and it's stupid. Think about what you're doing. You're not going to retire until you're 70. And the rich people never worry about their retirement accounts. Warren Buffett has not got a 401k. He's got Coca-Cola. See the difference? See the difference in the think? Okay? So like you guys have to take a look at what you know that is now a liability. What you know to be true that has become a liability for you. If you just study the middle class of America, study the entire structure of the American economy, you will see where a lot of these liabilities exist that are core values that you have, not just for you, but for the entire population of people. And like if you just look at the structure of America, 311 million people, most of them are not doing well. You hear about it every day. So the solution is let's give everybody college. You know, let's give everybody college. Well, college could be one of the problems. Look, you know, let's make sure everybody gets through high school. Okay. Could be one of the problems, actually, that it takes 12 years to learn how to count. And still no product, really. So anyway, I'm not saying, I'm not worried about trying to change all that. I'm just saying you might want to look at how some of that has influenced you. You know, the retirement accounts, the life insurance. How many of you got life insurance? How many of you got some cash value sitting there, some hold? Dude, get the money. Don't wait till you die.